This is Browny's Podcast!
Just doing the vocal warm-ups. This is Browny's Podcast. Degenerates, welcome. If you've never heard this podcast, welcome to our goddamn family. John's in the studio, Dog's in the studio, Broads is in the studio, our social legend Becca's in the studio. How you feeling, John?
I feel fresh to daisy. That's what it'll do when your family's not with you for the last 3 days, when you're able to sit back and just relax.
Yes.
And enjoy the serenity.
Oh, yes.
Last night I got home after doing the North Melbourne Essendon game, which is a great game of footy. I loved it, between two young teams. Sat down to a fresh butter chicken from my golf club. They're doing takeaway meals, and I washed it down with 2 Carlton drafts.
Hey,
beautiful.
Nothing better than golf club butter chicken, let me tell you. Hey, you two are both excellent at avoiding your family. You're both masters at it.
Well, I work hard.
Yeah.
I work so hard
Yeah, man,
it sometimes takes me away.
Yeah.
He's a road dog.
I am. Hey, good round of footy too. Even
Yeah.
though it was the bye round, really interesting games, high-scoring games, exciting games of footy most of the round.
Absolutely, it was great. It was great to see Port Adelaide, highest halftime score since 2012 in the AFL. They were 96 points up against your boys.
Then they put the cue in the rack, didn't they?
Tell you what, now, Brody, you're an SEN listener. You love SEN. And I was just driving into work today, and I had the text machine. And I thought, it's a great idea. The old text machine where the punters can just roll in with all these great questions, and then the boys today it was Kano, the volcano, and Kingy. They're answering questions. I love that.
Well, you could argue that they could get in touch with us on social media. You know, like you want a text.
I want old-fashioned text machine.
What is it? A temper text line at SEN, isn't it?
The temper text line.
We need a sponsor to get the text line.
Great point.
The best part about it is because people would feel, I don't know, a bit scared when they come on air and they confront. So they, absolutely, on the text machine, they absolutely give it to Kane for being soft. And
like a comment thread on Facebook. People get a bit braver and a bit tougher on a comment thread, don't they?
They do, don't
Much braver.
Yeah, exactly. So they use the text machine just to pretty much pot and abuse anyone they like because there's no accountability.
Do we have a mobile number to give out?
We actually do. So
what?
We do have a mobile number. Like a registered Brownies podcast phone number. The number is 0434 169 243.
Okay.
Boom. Like that.
Catchy.
I thought we'd just give it a test run over the weekend.
Yeah.
And so I just tossed it out to the inner circle.
You got a couple?
A few mates, and I got a couple just to start us off.
Let's go.
So, first up, as from one Port Adelaide supporter to another, this is obviously to you, Brody, what is the best thing that you've ever stolen?
Oh,
Jeez.
gee.
Because it's a rite of passage for Port Adelaide supporters, Dino.
I love stealing shit. What do you got, Broads?
Jeez, I reckon the best thing I've ever stolen. You know Freedom, the furniture store?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we walked in there, my now wife and Annika and I walked in there and we were having a look around and there was one of those big pillows that you could put on the ground that people can sit on. Mm-hmm. And we thought it was great. Anyway, there was no price tag on this stupid thing. And I was holding it. It's probably like a metre wide by almost a metre tall. It's massive.
Yes.
Hard to walk out with, I would thought.
Yes.
And I was asking like, oh, can you tell me how much this is or how do I pay for this? And no one was helping me.
Well, they probably thought you couldn't afford it.
Thanks for that.
Good.
Thanks
Point,
for
Campbell.
He had the moccasins on.
Thanks for that.
Rough
If you look like
beanie.
anything like you look now, mate, I wouldn't serve you either.
By the way, I'm the best dressed in this podcast, comfortably.
Yeah, fair enough. You stole a pillow.
Yeah, well, no one would help
You
me.
stole
And then
those clothes as well.
eventually I was fed up. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I took my big pillow and I just walked through the big electrical doors and then
What?
and then it beeped off and I was like, well, no one's going to stop me. So
Really?
Yeah. So
Surely you stole that
keep going.
shit gold necklace around your
do you like a
throat.
gold chain?
Mate,
There
you
is
ain't-
something a little bit
Move the
Miami.
microphone. I
and
can't
a
see
gold watch. What's this guy doing? Hey, mate.
Dougie Hawkins over here.
Is that Zamos?
Oh, well, this is proper.
That is rat's ass.
This is proper 24-carat plated.
Sure,
so
bro.
not the real stuff, just the silver plated.
Okay, let's go down to a pawn shop or cash converters as a test. I think we test what we would get for that necklace.
What do you value it at right now?
What?
$18.
No, $11.50.
I'm not doing a podcast again if he's wearing that shit. No, that's bad for our brand, that.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, why don't you get your footy number? Because Vossi's still got a necklace with his footy number
Number
3
3 around his neck.
He does.
Because I went on the 2006 Island tour with him. Remember he retired and then Sheedy took him? And he used to come down and he had the necklace, right? And he's the great Michael Voss. We all knew he'd won 3 flags. He wore number 3. That was synonymous with his little gold necklace and chain.
right.
Does he still wear it?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen him recently. I think he does.
Does?
Absolutely. Why would you take it off when
Jonathan,
you're the great man?
Do you remember when Dougie Hawkins went on front bar with an open shirt and one of the
That was
thickest,
unbelievable.
one of the thickest gold chains I've ever seen?
Like a big Cuban, like a Florida gangster.
Mate,
that's
I
nice.
was to say aroused.
I've never understood
aroused isn't the right
Just
word.
bogan from the western suburbs. It was magnificent.
And the Wiz used to wear a lot of jewellery, a lot of gold chains.
But you expect that from the Wiz to see Dougie rock it was confident.
It's got to be real gold though. Otherwise, like if you're wearing like a fake gold chain,
Like Brody is.
Yeah, I know, mate. You'd be just embarrassed.
I look forward to that. So when we go to the pawn shop, we'll find one around here, Beck. I got another text. I'm going to roll out just quickly before we move on to Dino's
Let's
review.
go.
I've only ever stolen 3 things.
Yes?
JB.
Yes.
None of them are worth much.
Number 1,
The 2008 Premiership against the Cats.
number 2.
A tab sign, it's tab now open, out the front of a pub.
I love
and
that.
then every time I was sitting on the couch gambling on a Saturday, I'd walk out and I'd put it out the front, and that's how my friends and neighbours and everyone knew to maybe pop in.
Yes.
And we'd watch the races.
Love that.
And 3.
I was 12 and I didn't actually steal it, but I helped sort of block the person that did a Pennywise CD at JB Hi-Fi, and we got caught.
That's
They
pretty
caught
good.
our
Go
parents.
roll.
They got caught our parents.
Mine was a full-size fiberglass Ronald McDonald, which we discussed
Really?
on this
Yes.
podcast. We unbolted it from the Macca's. It was sitting on a chair. It's one of those ones you get a photo with.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go with the Hamburglar?
There wasn't a hamburger. We tried to make a bong out of Ronald, but we couldn't make it airtight. What have you stolen?
A packet of Skittles. I remember the Croydon Servo years ago, and they were magnificent. That's about the best I've done. And I stole Collie's heart.
I'm going to vom.
One more for you, Campbell. This is from Mel from Portsea. I heard a rumour that your mum used to take the pips out of a watermelon.
Only the black ones. Yeah, only the black ones.
Is this true?
And she would de-pip my watermelon. Yeah, absolutely.
The beautiful Kay would de-pip your watermelon.
I'd sometimes get upset if I felt like some of the white ones were a bit bigger than usual, because you can eat them, but I liked my watermelon de-pipped.
John,
Is that too much?
Yes. Yes, I would have thought
John,
so.
the word that comes to mind when I hear him tell that story is privilege.
You're dead right.
Was there any other sort of privilege examples, like whether she'd prepare food in another way?
Well, I used to take a lunchbox to school, and in it would be my sausages, and in that would be just a little tub of tomato sauce, right, so I could dip it. But when I was at school, I used to give the tomato sauce to someone to hold. It was my He was my sauce guy, and at recess he would stand there while I would dip it in.
Mate, that's bully.
Did you hear him say the words, he was my sauce guy?
Sauce guy.
And yes or no, are you still getting an allowance from Mel?
No.
Yeah.
Ever since I used to have a credit card, we'd call it Mel Gold, and I would go out for dinner with the boys, right? And if the bill came to sort of $350, everyone would throw their money into the middle, right? And I'd say, "Oh, boys, I'll fix this up on my credit card." So I would pay on Mel Gold, and then I'd take the money and use it as my cash. And I went a step too far when I booked a rub and tug on Mel Gold. He cancelled the credit card.
Welcome to the show, Rub and Tug.
Get in here.
What's a rub
I
and
didn't
tug,
know it was a
Dino?
rub. I didn't know
Not
it was
sure.
a rub and tug.
Not sure what it
until
is.
after.
Hey, is it true that for your 18th birthday, Mel bought you a Mazda Tribute, and then a few years down the track, when you decided to sell it, you sold it back to your dad, who paid full price for it?
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's not true. That's not true.
Can I clarify? Okay, so
Please.
so I got a car, which was a Mazda Tribute, right? It was
What, is that a ute?
It was no.
It's like
a
SUV.
yeah,
Gotcha.
it was a joint 18th and draft present, right? Now, a lot of people at the club asked, why would you get a draft present? But it was a combination. I drove it for a few years, right? And I decided I was going to sell it, get rid of it, because I got a Toyota sponsorship
Good deal.
right?
Oh, yeah, we love Toyota.
I didn't need the car
Oh,
anymore.
what a feeling.
And so
Settle down. Oh, what a feeling.
I put it on carsales.com for about 6 weeks. And I kept cracking the shits because random people were calling me up and wanting to come and inspect the car and take it for a test drive. I was like, this. Like, I know I want to sell my car, but I didn't think about randoms just calling me and having my number and everything. So I suggested to Mal that it might be a good idea that he purchased the car. Right?
Smart.
So
That he's already bought
and
given away.
Yeah, give it for free.
I swear I bought this car before.
So he bought it, gave it to me. I then sold it back to him. So theoretically, he bought the car twice.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to get to the bus trip very soon. We've got a lot of entries.
Yes.
People want to get on this bus. But in the meantime, my name is Dean, and this is the round in review. Round 12, John, is that right? 12?
Round 12.
Friday night footy. A whole football nation was watching one guy's accuracy. I really love when they went to the crowd to show Harry's parents. It humanised everything. How much pressure on that guy?
Absolutely. I feel like the walls are caving in. He did pretty well, though.
Yeah.
Got some votes in some people's paper votes.
Well, he snapped one in to relieve the pressure of a nation. But then only to have a shot later in the game that was weird and fell short and sort of left everyone with a funny taste in their
Yeah.
mouth. Let's be honest.
It did. It was a crucial shot as well.
It was.
Yeah, it was an interesting one, that snap from around the corner, because I thought his drop punting was actually starting to look a little bit better.
Wow.
But
The whole family were riding his kicks.
I know,
on the
it was
weekend.
so
I know.
sweet.
They can't score, Carlton. For a team that has the last two Coleman medalists in there, or two of the Coleman medalists, they've had, I think, 57 points, 51 points, and 46 points in good
it's
conditions
not
the
good
last 3 weeks. So their ball movement is...
Can you imagine if Charlie Curnow wins the Coleman again this year? So they have another Coleman medal winner and they miss the 8. It'd be a disaster.
I've got a little stat for you here.
Hit me, hit us.
They had 4 goals from stoppage. They had 6 goals in the weekend. 4 goals from stoppage. And then in general play, they had 109 ball movement chains where they had the ball. And only 2 out of those 109 chains they actually scored. Scored
duck.
goals from there.
Horrendous.
Unbelievable.
Like, it's really bad.
500 goals for your old mate, Luke Roost.
Good, isn't it, Bruce? And old.
Roost.
Old. Still kicked 5 and was by far their most dangerous forward.
Port Adelaide was scary good. Insert Brody's comment here.
Watch out, come finals.
Really,
Well, that's scary.
really. Are you getting excited about beating Hawthorn?
Yeah, well, when you put on 109 points in the first half, I'm sorry, you have bragging rights.
Good sign when your captain can't get a game.
Oh!
Yeah, and good spread of goal kickers. Still no Charlie Dixon. The captain's
Jesus.
playing 2s. Boak to come back in. They're
Willie
going well.
Rioli, magic.
Magic. May I say, I have never seen a Port Adelaide grand final. I was too young in 07. My dad's like, no, we'll wait for the next one. It's been a while since the next one.
It was
fair to
probably
say.
good that you didn't
Yeah,
see
I know,
that because
yeah,
you would have been
probably shouldn't.
scarred for life.
Right on, why?
And I was living in Adelaide at the time during 2004, I think. So, Brownie, with all your power in the AFL, if Port Adelaide make a grand final, could you get me tickets?
All right, mate, it's not
I
get
know.
Brody ticket segment. This is my
Jeez,
round in
fucking
review.
hell.
Jesus Christ.
I'll say yes, because they're not going to make it.
Yes, yes.
Trade in that necklace.
Kudos to Jeremy Finlayson for doing what every forward should do, running into an open goal square. He torped it out of the stadium.
That was so
he did.
good. That
You know
was
the
so
last
good.
player that did that?
Yeah.
Did their hammy, Mitch Lewis, against the Cats last
Yeah.
Easter Monday.
He kicked that so high up a tree, I saw the ball in a gangbang with 2 marsupials.
Good work,
Hey,
Dano.
an idea for a new psychopath test. If your team is first on the ladder, right, and you're playing one of the worst performing teams in modern history, and you get a chance to give a cheap shot, if you take that cheap shot, every chance you're a psychopath.
That's a bit harsh. That is harsh.
Fight me!
That was look. He's going to get suspended. We all know that, and it can't happen on the footy
Psychopath.
field. But I don't think he really premeditated.
Whoa. Do you want to have a third crack at
I
that?
don't think he had a premeditated idea that he was going to absolutely kill
Hey.
Elijah Hewitt.
Hey, Jordan, enjoy the PlayStation, brother. Dear Gold Coast.
Hey, no
What?
super, no super.
Yeah, I know. If Eagles won, I would have got a
I was
super.
very confident about that. I actually didn't even ring the boss at Toyota, the great Tim Stuckey, and just bounce it off him. I was so confident that you wouldn't be driving around a red Supra for the next month.
Dear Gold Coast and Stewie Jew, sorry for writing your obituary a little early. Equal points with Cats in the 8.
Yep.
That's a reality.
Done
of it.
well.
And we were all shitting on him. We pretty much said Stewie didn't have a job about a month ago.
Yeah, the people that were saying that were as blind as Jamie Foxx.
Do you mean
Well, he
Ray
did Stevie-
Charles? Do you
Ray
mean
Charles.
No, Jamie Foxx has
Ray
just had a
Charles.
bad reaction to a COVID jab, and he's now paralysed and blind.
Oh my.
Did you not know that?
Oh my
That's not the
God.
case.
Hey,
That is the case.
He's out. He's fine.
No, he's blind.
thanks to a COVID jab.
Did you think I meant him in
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Charles? Ray
Yes,
Charles.
we
No, I
thought
mean
Ray
he's
Charles.
now living.
Well, I think our legal department should get across your irresponsible statement just there. Finally.
Good job, Dave.
Method
though.
acting.
Stuart Dew has done a fantastic job.
right?
They were 35 points down halfway
Yeah.
through the second quarter. They fought back. Contest work is unreal. Is it unfair on him if they did just make the finals? Would it be unfair with the spectre of a Damien Hardwick looming over that club potentially?
Are you saying if they made the finals?
If they just missed finals, would it be unfair that
Just
Stewie
missed.
Dew lost his job?
Just missed. No, it's not unfair. But if they made it, unfair.
I'm the only one that tipped him to make the 8 this year. The only
Oh,
one.
well done. Get
Right
the trumpet
on,
out, mate.
So,
Hey, congrats.
Lacocious.
Genuinely an amazing round of football. But yeah, let's talk about the concept of fairest and best in the Brownlow. So Jordan he's going to get
Yeah,
suspended.
he'll get 3, maybe 4 weeks. He's gone ski.
Would he be number 1 at the moment for
No.
Brownlow?
No.
I think
Nick
Dacos
Dacos.
would have gone close.
Bonton
Petrarca
Pally.
would be up there.
Yeah.
What's that Bombers kid? Martin?
No,
Zach
no,
Merritt.
mate, please.
Zach Butters?
Zach Merritt's
Yeah.
been awesome.
What about... Oh,
Zach Butters will be close as well.
Zach
Yeah.
Merritt, Zach Butters as well, absolutely. So there's a few in the mix, no doubt about it. But Degoe would have been up there,
Right.
Because he's that sort of exciting player, an explosive player,
Kicks
so he
some
gets
goals.
the attention, kicks goals, gets attention of the umpires. But it's an interesting question because it is fairest and best. Is it just an old rule that should be scrapped, or should it be currently the way it is?
Well, now it is a lot easier to get suspended than it was, say, 20 years ago. You had to do something pretty egregious to be suspended
Now
from
you
the
just
game.
need to sneeze on someone.
Ex- You can,
Mate.
like a tackle gone wrong by accident. Again, a bump that isn't necessarily there. It can be trying
What
to
about
defend
Liam
yourself.
Duggan's suspension, mate? It's on Taylor Adams. It's one of the
my
worst.
God.
It's one of the worst
oh my God.
suspensions I've ever seen.
It's naive to call the award fairest and best as if someone's going to be this perfect person for 23 rounds.
But it's part of the prestige
But
and
it can
mystique
change.
of
It's
the
the history
Brownlow.
of it.
Dog, if we got rid of that rule, no one would miss it.
Poor old Corey McKernan won a Norwich Rising Star
Yeah.
back in '94
Yeah.
and was suspended. And then in '96 won a Brownlow medal,
Yeah.
equal, and was suspended.
Yeah, John, you're telling me, that's
Chris Grant.
you're telling me that if that wasn't removed, everyone would forget that it even existed.
Yeah. Look, I tend to agree with you somewhat, Dino. You know, there probably needs to be a level of fairness, but where do you draw the line? Like, you know, is it rough conduct? Is it behind the play incidents?
Flagrant.
So the rough conduct one might wipe out Jordan Degoe, though, even though I don't think it was flagrant.
Bullshit.
I don't think it
He
was.
saw a sitting duck and
I
Coward
don't,
punched
I
him.
don't think it was as bad as Tom Stewart. Last year, Tom Stewart had a brain snap and just lined the guy up. So some people are saying it's a dog act. It was far from a dog act.
And
it was
you
He
gotta-
just braced.
Yeah, and the game is so
He
fast
just
these
braced.
days.
Now that's not true.
The player that he hit,
mate, he did
Elijah
brace.
needs to take some responsibility for leaving himself so wide open.
It's somewhere in the middle. He didn't just brace, and you know he didn't just brace.
And I tell you what's a bad situation. Obviously, Patrick Cripps won the Brownlow medal last year, and there was a incident that he was cited for, and everyone pretty much prior to him had been suspended for it, and then he gets off, which is just a little
What are you
bit lucky.
suggesting?
I
What is
think that
conspiracy?
they have a favourable view on people that are to win the Brownlow medal because it's a bad headline if someone were to be suspended and they would win the
Well,
Brownlow medal.
they did rub him out, and then he went to the tribunal and got cleared.
Yeah,
or
that's
even
right, all
did
the
they
way.
go ahead? Did they go even further
think
to
they
the
may have.
But even the
Supreme
concept
Court?
of a bad headline, I just don't think the world will be that shocked. Like, I just think it's stupid. Let's get rid of
I'll
it.
tell you what I found really strange about the whole situation with Degoe. One, the comments from
Kane.
Dom Sheed.
What did Dom say?
Dom Sheed out after the game basically said he deserves a month or two.
Well, then
Yeah.
why did no Eagles, this is my team, not one Eagles player went to Jordan to go
Bang, there
after
you go,
that?
Dino.
Weak as piss.
Absolutely.
And secondly, the West Coast Eagles media department, they put out an Instagram last night with Degoe straight to the tribunal, right? Which was a little bit
Yeah.
weird. Like, I can't remember any opposition
Yeah.
clubs sort of inflaming the
Well, he
situation.
should be. Sheets should be heavily fined for that.
That's-
because you're not allowed to comment
Prejudicing
about
the tribunal.
Absolutely.
That shows where we're at as a club, that we're celebrating that. shit.
He's had the build-up from the grand final, but West Coast won that grand final, so they shouldn't have any animosity or bad blood.
I don't think the grand final's related to this.
I just don't remember. Could you imagine if the Dockers had come out and a Dockers player had said that about the gaff thing a couple of years ago?
They did.
There was no need, not publicly. They didn't say, he deserves to get a month or two.
What happened to Lethal when he got charged by the actual police?
Neville Bruns.
Neville Bruns, he got deregistered. And then I think he recorded a conviction for that as well.
Dockers fans were trying to get that for gaff when he broke old mate's jaw.
Brayshaw's
jaw.
Right, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, that's we can understand. There's obviously everyone's passionate. The supporters are passionate, no doubt about it. But I like your point, Dino, that you made, that if you're going to send out a message like that, like Dom Sheed did, why weren't you flying the flag there and then? Straight after the incident. I think that's the most important thing.
Okay, just before the ads, let's try and call Josh Kennedy from the Sydney Swans. He was in the Carlton draft over the weekend. I heard he went all right.
Hi, you've called Josh. Please leave a message. Thank you.
Hi, Josh. It's Brownie's podcast. Brody, our producer, told us that you've fallen out of love with us, and I guess in many ways we just want to know why. What did we do, man?
Who
Jonathan?
offended you, JK? Was it Brody? Was it Pang, JB, or Dino? Grand final week last year.
Well, I know it wouldn't have been me.
Bullshit.
As the Carlton draft commissioner,
Yeah.
JK, I'd love you to give us a call back so we can talk about your game yesterday. Apparently, there's a story that came out of your performance.
He ran through a banner with your face on it, JB.
I know. Well, the least he could do is return our call.
And
Jeez.
JK,
I think he loves me. I just concerned that Brody has
did
got
something
him offside.
Brody fucked up somehow.
And these Xavier boys, mate, they don't know how to let things go. They hold grudges all their lives.
That's not helping. That's not helping our argument.
Love you, Josh.
Josh, call us, man.
Maybe it's me.
Surely not. Ads back in a second.
This is Brownie's Podcast.
Welcome back to Brownie's podcast. So Jonathan thinks it's a good idea to have a text number that
Old fashioned.
You people can text us and give us some feedback. What's the name of this thing?
It's just the text machine at the moment. It's Temper Text on SEN, but we are not sponsored, so we don't just give these things away easily.
Good point.
So who knows what it may be down the track, but it's text machine because, a lot of our listeners are not that adept at social media or technology and all that sort of stuff. So
Everyone knows how to send a DM on Instagram, Jonathan.
I tell you what, I would love to get a photo or a video of Lee Matthews texting. He's got the little fat fingers, and I just love the way he texts. He just does it like a typewriter. It's magnificent
And
to
does
watch.
he,
So I'm
like-
sure a few of our listeners are much like Lethal.
Say if Lethal was writing a text, would he say out loud what he's texting?
I know he's not a great texter because years ago, Dino, when we were playing, Mel Michael and Justin Lepich, I thought Leper would have a bit of funny with Mel because Mel was always playing pranks on the boys.
Right.
So Leper got into the club early one day and while Mel was doing his weights and went into Mel's phone. It's the day before you had passcodes on your phones. Went into his number where it said Leper and changed the name to Lethal.
Yes.
And then obviously, for some of the carry on and some of the shit Mel had done, it had come to the attention of the coaches and all that sort of stuff. So, and he'd been writing this stupid shit on the gym walls. So there was enough for Lethal to maybe potentially question Mel about some certain things.
So he gets a text that says from Lethal.
From Lethal saying, hi Mel, this is Lee.
Do the voice just for me and then I'll stop.
Well, it's in the text though.
I know,
It's in the
just
text.
do it for me and then I'll stop.
Hi Mel, can you come and see me after you finish weights? And then, so straight away, Mel goes up to Leper and goes, oh mate, you wouldn't believe it. Lethal's just texted me and said, can you come and see me after the weights? He goes, what do you think it's about? And Leper's going, I don't know, maybe some of the pranks you've been pulling on the boys and some of the shit you've been writing in the gym. And he goes, oh, yeah, it might be that. So he walks in, Lee's in match committee, knocks on the door. He goes, come in. He goes, oh, you g'day, Lee. And all the boys look up at him. He said, I just had a text message from you, Lee, saying I've got to come and meet you. And he goes, Mel, I don't even know how to text. Have a look at these fingers. What are you doing?
Oh, yes.
I think I've been stitched up.
That's unbelievable.
So there you go.
All right, okay. So how did we get here? We got a text line. What's the number real quick again, Rhodes? Do you mind?
It is 0434 169243.
And we have another one, John, is that right?
Absolutely, got a text. What did you blokes earn in your first year, Brown Dog? Now, we're just this interesting stuff because obviously you sound like you're full of cash at the moment when Mel Brown's covering all your costs. But it's a big talking point now, Broads. Give us context. What would a rookie be on these days, or a first yearer?
The average wage in the AFL is something around high 300s, like $375,000. That factors in everyone that's, closer to $1 million and all those in the rookies. But yeah, close to $400,000.
I think if you're a first rounder these days, you're on about 150 and then 5,000 a game. So you've got the potential to earn sort of $250,000 plus.
What? So even the player that, even though they're on your team, you don't know who they are, they're, as a fan, they get 150k.
If they're playing week to week,
Jesus.
they'll get their 150,000 base and then 5,000 a game. If you play sort of 20 games for the year, that's another $100,000.
That text came in from Jess and Kylie. Yeah, I'm not sure where they're from.
All right, so the year I was drafted, it was 2001, the Super Draft, right? And I went second round.
You had a mobile phone at this point for only 2 years.
Yeah, that's correct. And so my base payment was $38,000, and I got $2,000 a game. I played 12 games in my first year, so an extra $24,000. So I made $62,000 for my first year.
Bro, that's not a lot of cash.
But it's all relative because houses were cheaper and obviously cost of living was cheaper. But you compare that to some of the players now, it's chalk and cheese.
You did have a Mazda tribute, though. That's pretty sick.
John, can you get the calculator out while you're at it, Brown Dog, and type in 13 times 1,500?
13 times 1,500, yep. That's 19,500.
Okay, 19,500, which was our match payment component. Yep. And my base was $27,000.
Combine the two.
$46,500.
There you go. And rent was paid for. I lived in Justin Leppich's place with his sister Nikki, who was the media boss there at the Lions. So it was probably a total of, what do you reckon, the package may have been $50,000.
Yeah.
So in the 90s, right, when it was almost semi-professional, to the early 90s at least, I remember a lot of Eagles had day jobs back in like 92.
Yeah, early days.
So when Kangas were flying in the 90s, was Duck earning proper money, and then like your Arch and all that, they were on dog
massive
shit?
Like Duck was on close to $1 million in the 90s. 90s, yeah, and there was a massive gap between him and probably even the second highest paid player in the competition, let alone his own team.
That'd affect your relationship, right?
Well, not really, when you're absolutely dominating the whole game plan was designed around him. Those boys were happy because they're winning games, and he used to look after the boys. I know Pikey said on a footy trip once, when they went to Vegas, it was all covered.
Okay.
It was all covered, and all 40 of the boys went. They stayed in the casino in Las Vegas.
That's amazing.
All the costs were covered.
I know that when I played at the Hawks, we never discussed what each other was on. There was the only time anything was ever raised was when the club sort of came out and said, we're not going to give 3-year deals to anyone. Sort of 2 years is about right. So when players are having that discussions with their managers, they don't offer 3-year deals, it's just 2. If the club then went away and gave Hodgie or Buddy a 3-year deal, you would then be like, hang on a second, what the fuck?
Right.
Well, I asked for 3-year deals, and they said categorically it's only 2.
Yep.
Now they're lying. But in terms of actual monetary figure, I can't remember ever having a conversation in my whole 13-year career with another player about it.
Never gets discussed.
But it's definitely a supporter thing and the media thing that they jump on this alleged number.
Yeah.
Oh, he's come across, he's on a fortune and not paying his way or whatever. But inside the four walls, I can't remember ever hearing a discussion about, he's on this and I'm not. And this, that, and the other.
Right. Interesting.
Doesn't happen.
And the media speculates and says, this player's on 800, this player's on 900, and you hear these numbers thrown around. Is it pretty much like 15, 20% lower than that? Are we just like inflating all the wages out there?
Usually,
yeah, to make it and that's because they would be including match payments. They'd be including all the bonuses,
incentives,
which a lot of time incentives, which players a lot of time don't make those incentives.
Radio's different to footy, dog, because when I did radio with Jonathan Brown and Sam Pang, that's all they'd talk about during the songs. Like that's all they'd talk about is their salary.
We had our own calculators. We just tile it out and show Dino. So that's what I earned for that talk break.
All right, the bus trip.
Good text though. Thanks for that, Jess and Kylie.
Take me home. By the way, on the bus trip, I've just decided I'm going to do my own death metal version of Wheels on the Bus. You excited about that?
Do they go round and round?
Oh, they go round, brother. They go round. Now,
On the trumpet?
Oh, nah, the trumpet's dead.
I've got it back, don't I?
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Are you
back.
going to play the trumpet?
Nah.
Yes, you are!
No, I'm not.
Mate, at some stage
Please?
on that bus, you've got to do
Please,
something
can you
for
say
us.
maybe for now?
I can bring it, but I can't sort of play much.
No, we'll pick one song for you to perform. Please, mate. The thong song.
The thong.
Just say maybe and I'll drop it.
Maybe.
Yes, I've got you.
The big balls.
Yeah, big ball. What?
Big balls.
Big balls, what?
Big balls. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
Have we got any more callers?
Let's
this week?
go. Let's have a listen. If you want to be on this bus, send us a voicemail on any WhatsApp or social media or anything, right?
Instagram, yep.
Instagram. Rick.
It's Rick here. Last time I submitted a poem. This time it's a limerick. There once was a pod by the Browns, loved by degenerate clowns. We piled on a bus without too much fuss and drank so much piss that we drowned.
It's a limerick.
I think Rick's going to be in.
Rick. Rick.
Rick's going to be in, I think.
Yeah, good's Rick.
I think Rick's going to be in.
Yeah.
Is it my second in that, John?
Yes, second for sure.
All right, let's
As
go.
the commissioner, I feel like I've got some sort of entitlement
Yeah.
here.
And Banjo Dogginson loves a poem or a limerick.
I forgot about Banjo Dogginson. All right, Mick.
Lads, this is Mick, the one with the one ball. I would love a seat on the bus. I missed the precinct last year because I had COVID. So I would love to get on the bus, meet everyone, say g'day, and thanks to everyone. So if you can get a seat, that'd be awesome. Thanks, guys.
Mitch now.
G'day boys, Mitchy here. Mates call me Butch because they reckon every girl I've been with I've turned them, but would love nothing more than to jump on the bus down to the footy and watch the big Bucks play. Me and my mate H, both larger than life characters, mate. I reckon we'll have a bloody ball, just like me and old Brown Dog did at Maeve Fox a couple Sundays ago. So I'd love nothing more than a couple of pineapple cruises, mate.
On you,
boys.
Butchie.
Is this one of those scenarios where someone just saw you at a bar and then says that they had drinks with
I
you?
think so. I haven't been to May Fox for ages.
Finally, before we get to the last one, I'd love some voicemails from females because I don't want this to be a Bunnings
Nah,
sausage
neither.
sizzle, you know?
No one would hate that more.
We
40
need-
blokes on the bus.
We need some women on this bus to provide some balance and sense, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Liam's submission.
G'day guys, I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I would love to jump on the bus to watch Bucks play in a few weeks' time, just for a few reasons. Reason number one, I've got no mates, so I'm available every weekend, so it makes it easy for me. And number two, I'd love to essentially feed some succotash to Brown Dog on the bus and try not to crack a bus fat whilst I'm there. So I'd love to join you guys. It'd be awesome. Cheers.
Christ, that's a strong
mate,
submission.
if they're flavoured succotash, he's in.
gonna
He's in.
Liam's in, man.
Yeah, no, I like that. Good effort. Well done. Good creativity there, Dino.
Your phone just went off.
Yeah, it did. Text message from Joshua Kennedy. He said, you called me on a private number. I'm right to go.
Yes.
So I assume he'd like to have a
we got
chat.
him.
Ads. JK next.
This is Brownie's Podcast.
This is Brownie's podcast. Let's call one of the greats of the game, Josh Kennedy from the Swans.
Hi, Josh speaking.
Josh Kennedy, you magnificent son of a bitch.
Going on, guys.
Hello, JK.
Campbell.
We've got you back on the podcast, mate. We missed you, and I'm sure that you missed us.
How's it going?
Josh, we love you, and we were saddened to hear that someone in the studio
Yeah.
has done something to turn you off us. I guess my first question is, who up? Was it me, first of all?
Name names.
Name names.
Yeah. Time to vent.
Well, it couldn't be the commissioner. I've looked after you, and I'm very, very strong supporter of yours.
Most of the time, Brownie. Most of the time.
Oh, yeah, I remember on the couch you might have tried to retire him a bit early.
Bullshit.
Remember that? His numbers
You
were
piece
down.
of shit.
Says, yeah, keep going,
Bullshit.
JK. This is good,
There
mate. Hit him
you
between the eyes.
dog,
Who else?
Jonathan.
No, all good. I actually can't remember.
I think it was Brody. Brody, our producer,
Yeah.
who up.
He
He's a Port
mocked you.
Adelaide supporter. He mocked you, JK.
Did he?
Leading into last year's grand final. Remember, he got you on the
Yeah.
Nova Brekkie.
Oh,
And
Just caught me off guard. Yeah, just caught me off guard a little bit.
do you forgive us?
Yeah, of course.
Ah, there we go.
Well, I would have been disappointed if we were tarred with the same brush. So this bloke is a four-eyed peanut Port Adelaide supporter.
With a Zammel's gold chain.
He's got a gold chain that'd be worth no more than $11.50, JK.
Brody,
Oh,
apologise to Josh.
I'm sorry, Josh. I love you very much.
No.
I love this
I think
man.
privately he hates you, Brody.
Yeah, well,
You've got a long way to fight back.
he's
Now,
not the only one. But
how'd
hey,
you go, great man? You played on the weekend as part of the Carlton draft. Who did you play for again?
Browny was Murrabit Football Club, little country town up near Swan Hill there on the border, and it was a lot of fun.
you got the win as well, JK. They hadn't had a great start to the year, but you on board and the 4 points in a close game. And did I see a bit of claret dripping off your face too? Did you get split?
Yeah, got split halfway through the third quarter, but mate, it was cool. They hadn't won a game for the year, but 0-6 I think, and against their arch rivals, I was told in $1, and got the win in a nail biter. We were pretty comfortable for most of the day, but they came back late and nearly pinched it off us.
Well, we are going to Bucks' one, Murrabit. I was actually working, but that was a fair hike up there. There's been some big trips because your old teammate Jordan Lewis, he played up at Buchan, and he was bucking good up there because they won. The boys have been good this year, apart from the Volcano, who was shithouse when he went out and played out at Moyston Wallora. The other boys have won. JK, Dave Mundy, Geordie Lewis have all performed magnificently. Last year, the boys were 1-7.
Jesus.
Dale Thomas was the only man that won last year. So you boys have actually lifted these teams over the line, and they're pretty ordinary teams, obviously, with an undefeated team.
Could the local boys actually play, Josh? Obviously, you were playing at a very high level and are still in great nick. Some of them could really throw their weight around and really win a ball.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wasn't playing at a high level, that's for sure. But yeah, there was some bloody good players out there. Like the good players are still pretty good, and then it drops away pretty quick. But overall, it's pretty. It was a pretty good game, hard and tough, what you sort of expect. Yeah, and a big ground too, which I was a bit disappointed with. It was as big as the MCG, I reckon.
Jesus,
the Oval.
That's
wild. It was massive.
JK, can you tell our listeners about the first time that I ever met your beautiful Colombian wife, Anna? We were on the Brownlow red carpet. I was doing some hosting for Channel 7, and I interviewed you guys pre-Brownlow count, and I thought I might make a cheeky little humorous reference to her home country. Can you just tell us exactly what I said and the reaction from Anna?
Mate, it was some. I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was in some reference to Pablo Escobar.
Jesus Christ!
Very low-hanging fruit, guys.
You're better than that.
I suggested that Anna was the greatest export out of Colombia since Pablo Escobar, and I didn't realise that Pablo is loved by many, but also loathed by some, and she fell into the category that wasn't a massive fan of Pablo Escobar and the damage that he'd caused their nation.
Sorry about that, Josh.
What does she say about Brown Dog privately to you? Like, just
great question.
We're all good now.
Privately, in those initial couple of months after that comment, what did she privately think of Dog?
I don't think he's come up in conversation.
Oh shit, Josh! We truly love you, and hey, I'm going to be at your brother's wedding later in the year, so please, will you have a dart? Well, I'll have a dart. You can watch. Yeah. You can watch me have a dart behind the
shed,
behind the pergola. Thanks for picking up our call, man.
No worries. Sorry I didn't get the first one, but I did have a laugh. Look forward to catching up some stage for a beer.
Welcome back to the Inner Sanctum, brother.
Yes.
Thanks, mate.
Josh.
I love him. He's a ripper.
He's a beauty. Yeah, what a lovable bloke.
He is a good man.
He's good company too at a wedding. I've had a wedding. I sat beside him at a wedding once, the great Matt Maguire's wedding.
Oh, Goose.
The Goose, because Goose married Sophie Ball, originally Sophie Ball, and his cousins with JK. So
real quick, because we've got to go to ads. What does Goose do for work now? Because
builder.
Yeah, builder.
Because he was a charismatic media performer, I thought, back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's very talented. Goose doing well, building and growing a young family.
Right on. Let's wrap this shit up. Oh, you got something before?
Got a text. Here we go. This for the big fella. This for me. Is it true that when you get a full body scan at the airport, those full body scanners, they pull you aside and ask you if you're half a robot?
Is it? Because your face obviously got a lot of metal in it?
Absolutely. I'm a bit like a Terminator.
Yeah.
So, they do have a double take.
Bane off Batman?
No, Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Bit of Harvey Dent about it. So I do. I used to beat going through the airport, but now the full body scan, it's just the Terminator.
A lot of screws in that face.
Let's never forget on the Great Ocean Road, Jonathan ran into a car.
That's right.
And the car came off second best.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn right it did.
Time for...
What a world. Now, I don't have a lot of time or respect for our local or federal politicians. I think they're all scumbags. They take our taxpayers' money and they burn at a rate of knots.
3AW.
And most recently, the Ryde MP, Jordan Lane, who only just got into Parliament recently by a mere 45 votes, so he's lucky to even be there. He used his maiden speech on Thursday to call for school days to be extended to at least 6 p.m, right? Because he believes that school hours are sexist. I don't know how time can be sexist.
What party is this guy from?
He has decided that... It forces parents, mainly females, mothers, to choose between their own career progression and raising children because the time of 9 until 3 is now, in the modern community and with family life, a sexist time. It's not the 1950s, he said, and women should be able to not have to work from home or not work at all to go and pick up their children. And I say, you're a idiot. What a world.
Interesting.
Very strong.
Yeah, that was
Very
strong today, wasn't
everybody.
it?
Yeah,
School time.
My Jack Brown would love that. It was standing out to 6 last Friday.
Yeah.
He did surfing from 10 till 3. So it'd be 10 till 6.
That kid's living in a
How can
fantasy
time
land.
be How can time be sexist?
Isn't that a Liberal Party member? It's one of your teams.
He wouldn't be liberal, nah.
Couldn't be liberal.
What a world, baby!
See you, degenerates.